Hello. Welcome guys to Raging Loop. It's a visual novel made by Kemco and it's basically apparently inspired by Werewolf, the board game, if you guys know Werewolf. Yeah. I heard many good things about this game, so it's nice to see you, Brooklyn. Is it okay to call you Brooklyn? Aw, damn, it's been pretty bad so far. Hopefully, gets better throughout the day. Yeah, the intro's pretty banger intro. Hold on, I don't like how you guys can see my mouse. So let me fix that real quick. No, don't capture my mouse. There we go. Much better. All right, let's just jump right into it.
それではいよいよ物語の始まりです。
Let's begin the story.
限りなく濃い霧と血煙の向こう、繰り返される絶望と悲嘆の果て、人狼村の真実をどうかその目でご覧くださいませ。ペコリ。
March 11, Sunday. No, that's May. I don't know my months, man. I closed in on the side of the road and killed the engine. It was steeper than I'd thought. My bike was on the verge of giving out, so I pushed down and deployed the kickstand. Well, I'm lost. Maybe taking a ride down an unknown road with no sat-nav on me wasn't such a good idea. I just followed the road, so I'd figured I wouldn't get lost. But now I was in some deep shit. No, cool it. This isn't a big deal. I sighed, took note of the fact that I'd gotten lost in my pocket journal, and then pulled out a map. Suddenly, a rush of memories flitted into my mind. Huh. I guess we're just gonna forget about it. Forget about it. Sherry. Oh, okay. I can't really pronounce French names very well, but I'll try my best. Sherry. I somehow kept myself from remembering those things. After all, I'd gone on this trip to forget.
もうやめやめ 目の前の現実を直視。人生はシンプル。つまりこの道のごとく、真っ暗で道案内もなく、進むか返すか。考えることはそれだけ。
Going back wasn't an option in this case, so I just moved forward. Still, I wanted to know where I was, at least, so I looked down at my map. It was all Greek to me. Huh. Last time I'd seen a sign, it was still light out, meaning that I'd gotten lost after the sun had set. Sure, it was my own fault for just guessing which intersections I'd been passing through, and that it had taken me 2 hours to conclude I was lost. Crazy to think that just 2 hours of aimless driving got me almost completely surrounded by mountains. They extended as far as the eye could see. If you flipped the scenery upside down and shook it, it's unlikely even a shred of civilization would tumble out. Besides, the asphalt below, my sweet ride, and the lamppost above. The first one in a while, mind you. There was nothing man-made here. The pocket map I had wasn't detailed enough for me to figure out where I was.
進むか。
I'd go as far as I could. Worst comes to worst, I could just camp out the side of the road. Damn. Yeah. I guess it'd be like that some days, brother. 2 hours later, I deeply regretted ever thinking that. Basically, camping wasn't an option. This mountain road had no side to camp on. A dump truck I'd passed by barely even fit on it. I also had my first close encounters with wild forest animals. I'd already seen 2 boars and 3 deer in those 2 hours alone. One of the deer had run parallel to my bike while intently staring at me, and I had no idea what to think of that. I'd felt like it could smell my fear, and it did it just to make it worse. How dare that thing do that to a human? We're the kings of this planet, damn it. I'd have to remember to eat some venison once I come back to civilization. Anyway, camping out here was a bad idea. I'd end up as either roadkill or animal food. Huh. Wait, hold up. And yet, I didn't back out. Why? Because I'm pretty warped sort of guy, and I won't pretend otherwise. That was actually the reason why my once comfortable relationship had gone awry, and why I'd gone on this stupid trip. Huh. Still, despite acknowledging that, I chose to keep moving forward. It wasn't like I'd find a place to stay if I went back. I was actually starting to think that this experience might make a good conversation piece sometime down the road. It was really getting late at this point. Where would these roads take me anyway? Man, this guy hates deers for some reason. It'd probably be disappointing. Soon enough, the road became flat. I was out of the mountain pass. The forest remained abundant, though, so I still didn't see much. Even so, the street lights and signs were enough to make me feel like I was again nearing civilization. Was street lights the right expressions for lights in a forest? I'd have to look that up. As the road grew less rugged, I realized just how exhausted I was. All this bike handling had left my hands really sore too. I really had to rest. Suddenly, I saw something unexpected. Powerful, colorful, artificial lights. A convenience store? Oh. In the middle of nowhere. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was next to an intersection between the road I was on and another even thinner road that could probably support only a single car. The sea of trees ended, giving room for the majestic child of our consumerist society. Yeah, that was an exaggeration. Apparently even a damn store was a big enough deal for someone who just stepped out of the wild. It was called Fresh Marky. Fresh Marky. I'd seen several of them a few times during the day. It was probably a local franchise. The building didn't look that old. At least the parking lot looked a lot smoother compared to the roads. This was a pretty weird place to build something like that, though. Was I close to a settlement, or did they actually make a profit off of lost travelers? I just asked that or something. A local shopkeeper was bound to know what was around these parts, not to mention I was thirsty. Yeah, this place is pretty sus, my dude. I was welcomed by a weird chime sound. It looked like a normal convenience store. There were goods on the shelf, and a counter on the left. And whoa, the worker at the counter was so mean looking. It was scary. She was so imposing. I wouldn't have doubted it was if someone told me she was in charge of some ladies' army corps. Oh, is that supposed to be a greeting? It was so damn cold. It actually gave me chills. Was this store shadier than it appeared? Was I about to stupidly overcharged? Was this how this place made a profit? By taking advantage of lost people and basically beating them out of their money? Oh, man. Yankee. Clearly, the Wonderland had only just begun. Woohoo! I sure was excited for the beating. I grew more nervous and less enthusiastic by the second. I braced myself, but she looked just down at a magazine in her hands. Oh, so she was just a slacker. Slightly disappointed, I walked around the store. It was about what you'd expect. There was a small shelf with energy drinks, followed by some stationaries, travel goods, sanitary stuff, etc. There were sweets that came with toys, a shelf of cup ramen and dried food, a fridge, a freezer. It all looked normal. It was late, so the daily dish and packed lunch section was completely empty. The only special thing about this place was the section full of unpacked vegetables you'd expect to see at a greengrocer's. Maybe all rural convenience stores were like this. I was slightly surprised by that. There weren't any local fine foods or anything, so all in all, it was an unremarkable store. If you ignored the clerk anyway. I took a drink and brought it to the register. Damn, lady. She's really not getting paid for this. To work in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, she really was the highlight of this place. What kind of clerk smokes while dealing with a customer? Yes, I am buying because I'm thirsty. Yes, I was actually buying. She was the clerk and I'd be her god, the customer. Oh. She didn't even scan it. This exchange was at the mercy of the clerk. God is dead. Maybe I had to get mad at her? So I'm guessing I'm this gentleman. I kind of look like him. Hold up. Wait, I don't want... Oh my god, no. Jesus, wait, I'm still in studio mode, that's why. Let's see. No. Huh. There's a resemblance. Yeah, let's go back.
Huh? 実は道に迷ってしまって。
Uh-huh. I quickly turned meek.
町はどっちにあるでしょうか? あっち。いや、できれば地図とか。ない。
Man, this woman. This woman.
いや、そんなはずはないでしょ。コンビニなんて大体道聞かれるから、地図は常備してるもんでしょ。
Yeah, I believe too.
ないもんはね。おとなしく来た道戻れよ。
Yeah, why don't we just go back where we came from?
もう数時間迷ってるもんで、これ以上はちょっと。
Alright, fair enough.
その辺の床で寝てけば。
Hold on, I can't actually see the chat very clearly. Hold up. There we go. She had to be joking. Other than both of you having brown hair, yeah, there seems to be no resemblance. I mean, we have the jacket, and the shirt, and the jeans. Pretty close.
いや、お気持ちだけでいいんで、道だけちゃんと教えていただけたら。
ああ、もう、せえな。待ってろ。
The clerk put out her smoke in the ashtray and went to the staff-only area. She came back in no time. Oh, hello, Mr. Taco Bell. I'm glad you're here. How's the game so far? Apparently we were lost and we found a convenience store in the middle of nowhere. And now this mean lady is helping us go back. So she did have a map. Of course she did. Even more ill-tempered than usual, the clerk started giving an explanation.
これがこの店で十字路を北へ行け。しばらくしたら立教があっから渡れ。最初の分岐のとこに大岩があっから。
Wait a minute, I feel like... Wait, I feel like I need to memorize this. Overpass, cross, fork, giant boulder right, straight. I'm not gonna remember any of these directions.
この道？
んだよ。
いや、この先何もなくないです。
書かれてねえだけで集落があんだよ。
Man.
そこ以外なら。
Mean clerk lady has eyes, yeah. I mean, I guess we're looking closer enough now.
富士吉村まで行くには峠道を2時間。こっちなら30分で着く。
Fujiyoshi seemed to be a village. It didn't look too far away, but the road leading to it was a huge branching mess. It was clearly just a paved mountain pass. I'd had enough of those for one day. I'd probably just get lost again.
じゃあ、こっち行ってみます。ありがとうございます。
So I assume she's just giving us random ass directions because she doesn't want to deal with us.
金。
はい。
払ってねえだろ。茶のやつ。
Yo, I drank some tea. Damn, I didn't know that.
ああ、じゃあ500円。
Ding Russell Jingle.
なぜお釣りを無断で募金箱に入れるんですか？
小銭多いとうぜえだろ。
That was a hell of a line. I casually thanked her, grabbed a plastic bottle of tea. She didn't give me a bag, by the way, and left the store. Well, that was an experience. It's a miracle that she has eyes. Yeah, usually side characters don't have eyes. I drank the tea in the parking lot and looked up at the moon, obscured by clouds but still bright enough to outshine the light of the convenience store. The clerk put me in a bad mood though, so I didn't enjoy the sight. I threw the bottle into a nearby trash can and aggressively drove away. Okay. Following the directions, I crossed the overpass and arrived at the first fork in the road. The byway she told me about was really narrow. I probably wouldn't have noticed it were not for the tall boulders standing there like a roadside shrine from some traveler deity. Turning carefully, I got on the road. A minute later, I found myself in an even worse wilderness than before. A veil of dead leaves covered the ground, tall grass sided the path, the sky above was blocked by overgrown shrubs, making it feel like I was passing a wooden tunnel. The road itself was a huge red flag. It was a wonder why I didn't just turn around. The exchange from before might have pissed me off more than I thought. So she's basically leading me to some sketchy area. Still, I really didn't expect the road to just end. It happened about 15 minutes in. The view ahead suddenly turned strangely dark, and a split second later, the bike tipped forward. I reflexively hit the brakes, but it was too late. I started going down a cliff. My bike tilted downwards, and its suspension was put to the greatest test yet, as we basically tumbled down to the bottom. The headlights suddenly shone on some dirt and grass. I knew then that I'd be flung out of my seat. Yo. Stifling a scream, I tried to work some steering and brake magic to slow down without collapsing. But that was too big of a task for a simple road bike. At the bottom of the cliff, it jumped higher than ever before. The suspension couldn't handle the impact and I was launched into the air. A moment later, I heard a crash and felt on impact, after which came an unpleasant pain. Holy crap. An accident where I was flung out like that was the first for me. The launch was really something too. I did a 360 in the air and fell on my back. My breathing stopped for a moment and the pain was so bad I thought all my bones shattered. My face and limbs seemed pretty fine at least, though I wasn't sure if that counted as a silver lining. Hi, can you speak my name? Hello, Mr. Naruto. First death already? Yeah, nah, I think we're good. I think I'm just really badly injured. There was grass under my hands. I felt it even through the gloves. That and the smell of green made it pretty clear what I landed on. I pushed down and my hand sunk. This grass growth was pretty hefty. It was probably the reason why I came out relatively okay. Nice. We have some cushioning. Sure, my joints creaked when I stood up, but aside from that, I was fine. It was really dark, so I couldn't really confirm it, but I was pretty sure I wasn't even bleeding. My bike, however, wasn't nearly as lucky. Damn. Yo, survived with just no injuries? Damn. It was lying on its side a short distance ahead. The engine was still on, the back wheel kept on turning, making an unpleasant fricative noise. Yep, it was busted. I walked up, killed the engine, and took the key. With headlights off, I was surrounded by absolute darkness, so I just stood and waited until my eyes adjusted. I still couldn't see very clearly, but it looked like this actually wasn't a cliff. I was still on a road. It just wasn't paved beyond this point. Obviously, a road bike stood no chance against an unpaved road. That woman actually tried to kill me. Yo, she's leading us. Yo, I feel like, okay, this is gonna be a bit of a stretch, but maybe she's the leader. The head. What word am I thinking of? She's the mastermind. There we go. Zigzagging through the trees, I followed the narrow footpath deeper into the forest. I tried getting my bike up and running again, but instantly gave up. It was partially stuck in mud, so there was the risk of it slipping and getting me into another accident. Yeah, that'd be pretty bad. Maybe I had to turn around? The moment I considered that, I thought I saw a faint light ahead. If that woman wasn't lying, this road led to a settlement. Was I close? I reached into my jacket's pocket, took out my phone, and opened it up. As you'd expect, I was out of range. Yo, what kind of settlement is out in the middle of a forest like this? That's pretty whack. A game theory. I ran the light app and shone a light to see better. Though weak, it was better than nothing. At the very least, it helped me watch where I was going. Well, at least we have light. I had no idea how long I'd been walking for, but sure enough, I could see a light beyond the shrubs. It was weaker than I expected. A flashlight, perhaps? I could hear water, too. Might have been near a river.
すいません
I raised my voice.
すいません誰かいませんか
Still declaring my presence, I walked forward. It was late at night. Were I to bump into someone here, the scare would probably take away a few years of our lives. That was why I figured it was best for us both to let us know we were here before that happened. However, there was no response. Could they not hear me over the
すいません
rapids? Huh. I shone my light ahead and realized I'd made it to an opening. Sure enough, there was a river, or a stream rather. I could see slightly more than I had while surrounded by trees. Straining my eyes, I saw a rocky river, beach, and the shallows. The light I'd seen was on the other side. From what I could tell, it was either a lantern or a flashlight, and it was close to the ground. I didn't see any people though. No one responded to my shouting either. I wasn't excited about it, but I decided to step into the water. Oh no, dude, your socks! The cold water quickly soaked my shoes and socks. I could have taken them off, but I figured that crossing river barefooted at midnight was a bad idea. Yeah, I mean, you could have looked for a bridge, but man, it was cold. Cold. I put my phone back into my jacket. I needed both my hands free in case I fell. Not stopping or backing down, I walked toward the light. It suddenly became deeper. The water reached my knees now. That was too close for comfort. You gotta get out of there, dude. Feeling the bottom with my toes and balancing myself, I somehow avoided losing my footing. The flow was fiercer than I'd expected. If I slipped and fell, I'd probably be washed away. It suddenly hit me I was doing something really weird. It was too late to back down. No, you can still back down, dude. You can find a bridge somewhere. Putting my hands on the boulders and carefully checking what I was stepping on, I gradually made it to the other side. Then, with an unpleasant wet sound in my every step, I walked up to the light. I could already see it clearly. Yep, it was a flashlight lying on the ground for some reason. Yeah, the socks, man. Huh. Suspicious. There wasn't much space here. It was a narrow riverbank with a cliff right beside it. As you'd expect, I didn't see or sense anyone nearby. What the hell? Though old, the flashlight was working fine. The strength of the light told me the battery was pretty full. That meant that someone was actually using this tonight, or rather, until just a few moments ago. So someone was here, and now they're not. That was the most logical conclusion. It obviously wasn't left here yesterday, afternoon, or evening. And yet the user was nowhere in sight, and I was near a river. Did something bad happen? Probably, dude. Probably. Did the flashlight's owner step into the stream and get swept away? That was the most likely and worst possible scenario. No. No. That's not the worst. However, the flashlight was left there practically buried in the pebbles. It didn't seem like someone placed it there to light things up. It was the dead of night. There's no way you'd notice dropping your flashlight when it was so dark. Right, the fact that a light source was left in a place like this was strange by itself. With that considered, what was going on here? What if someone heard my stupid shouting and decided to lure me in with a light so they could ambush me? Very plausible, my dude. Where would they attack from? Above.
こんばんは。
Nani? I heard a voice the moment I looked up. The rock cliff was actually made up of several boulders. There was a face speaking from behind one of them.
こんばんは。
ああ、人だ。びっくりした。
Hello. That was my line.
悪いんだけど、それ取ってもらえます？
The voice was feminine, yes. I finally realized what was going on.
落としたってわけですか？
Yeah, I figured someone just dropped it. I picked up the flashlight and pointed it at the source of voice. Yeah. High-pitched voice, slender hands shielding the light. Sure enough, it was a young woman.
眩しいな。
Yo, sir, what are you doing?
失礼。ちなみに、こっちはこういうものですが。
What do you mean this is me? That's not how you introduce yourself.
怖いです。下から照らさない。
実は、当方道に迷っており。
Yeah, wait, what is she doing here?
だとすると、割と究極的に迷ってますね。
Yeah, thought as much.
ここって人里です。
難しい質問だな。
とりあえず助けてもらえないかと。
助ける？
雨露しのげて野生動物がいなければ何でもいいんで。
Standing on a boulder, the young woman made a pensive face. Yo, I'd be pretty sus of this woman though. Where does she come from?
じゃあ、うち来ます？
Yo, she's inviting us to her place? Excuse me? We just met, ma'am. I don't even know your name. That was the conclusion she'd arrived at. Her face told me she was 100% serious. Huh. Place. My place. By that she surely meant a house. Which means a settlement. Yes, you're a smart man.
頼んどいてなんですが、遠慮を忘れてすがりたい程度には切羽詰まってるんですが。
Not hold yourself back. Dude, you just met this woman.
男として？
ええ。いや違う。一個の生命として。数時間迷った挙句、バイクでこけて、心身ともに限界ってわけです。
あらら。なら、見捨てるのもどうよって感じじゃないです？一個の生命として。
Arara? And so I was saved. Oh, the beauty of living beings looking out for each other. Oh, if only it was that.
じゃあ手いいです
Anyway, your hand, please. Oh.
そこ一人じゃ登れないでしょ
Okay, yeah. True. Honestly, I didn't even realize I'd have to. Meeting another person filled me with relief, which was followed by a sudden wave of fatigue. It wasn't crippling, though. She extended her left hand, so I grabbed it with my own left. No, you used your right hand. Her slender fingers were stronger than expected. The girl's name was Chiemi Serizawa. I asked if she was related to the Shinsengumi guy, but she said that her family just adopted the name at some point in the Meiji period. Huh. She was a 21-year-old who went to a college far away from here. I'm a 21-year-old too. This was her hometown and she was spending her post-exams vacation here. Oh, okay. We chatted about stuff like that once she led me out of the rocky ravine. She looks like a very fine woman. There was actually a proper path, so the rock climbing was pretty pointless, but I was too focused on my footing to comment. You know what? It's exercise, dude. Why, Why not? She told me about herself as soon as we reached solid ground. Huh.
ちなみにそちらは
You got so much in common, I know, right?
名前は久石春明。東京で大学院生やってます。
Damn, this guy goes to Tokyo. Tokyo Daigaku? He's smart.
あ、じゃあちょっと年上
24だから、芹沢さんと3つ違いかな。
ちえみでいいですよ敬語とかもいらないです
Ooh, being very friendly.
じゃあ僕も、呼び捨てタメ口がいいな。
Interesting.
ですか
女の子に親しくされてるみたいで、
Oh,
嬉しいからね。
Mr. Haruaki.
なるほど実は私も堅苦しいの苦手なんでじゃあ遠慮なく
どうぞどうぞ。ちなみに、まだ結構遠い？
そうでもないかなもう5分くらい頑張りましょい
What a lively girl. He could tell she was used to people. Yeah. She's pretty good at talking with
ただ
random
足
strangers.
元に気をつけて明かりだけ見て
何かあるの？
この辺石ころだらけで危ないんだ
What's wrong with stepping on a bunch of pebbles? The moment she said that, I stumbled on a rock too big to be called a pebble.
あと
Oh.
今夜はずいぶん暗いしね
Haruaki is a ladies' man? I mean, he looks like one. He looks like he could be one. I couldn't even see the moon anymore. Nodding in agreement, I focused on following the light in her hand. I mean, I think Haruaki's like, he seems pretty confident in himself. So I think he could be.
ちょっと待っててもらえます着替えちゃうんで
And so I did just that. Given this was a mountain settlement, I'd expected some old wooden house, but she actually lived in an apartment block. It was too dark to get a good look at it. All I could see were the cheap-looking walls, like you'd expect from some old boarding house for students. Also, she lived on the second floor in room 202. I'd heard some raindrops as we were climbing the rusty stairs, but now it was really pouring. Between that, the darkness, and the large tree right next to the building, it was nearly impossible to see what was going on outside. It felt like I was all alone in a world of nothing but the walls, the door, and the fluorescent lamp above my head. So it's just a building in the middle of nowhere. Very sus. It made me feel somewhat helpless. I distracted myself from that by imagining her changing. Mr. Haruaki. Mr. Eventually the door
お待
opened
た
up.
せ上がって
Oh! Yo, I like this fit. Very, very sporty look. Sorry about the wait. Come in. All smiles, she showed herself now wearing sports clothes. This was kind of exciting. I mean, for
何に
you.
もないでしょ
何にもないね。
でも冷蔵庫の中はほら
素晴らしい。
飲みますか
やったぜ。
Let's see. Hmm. I don't like where this might be going. Because I'm on YouTube. But let's see. You know what? Let's dive right in, boys. Yeah, her place was really empty. You only have food and a bed. Well, I mean, she did go to vacation here. She doesn't live here. It was just a small room with a low table in the middle, a fridge near the door, and a large duffel bag deeper in. So she doesn't even have a bed. There were two old-looking bookshelves too, but they were completely empty. I wasn't bothered one bit though. Any girl's room was a wonderland to me. No, but this isn't her room. She's just staying here, dude. Calm down.
じゃあ大変だった春明さんにお疲れ様。
お疲れ。
地獄で出会った仏様に乾杯。
Man, this man's really happy. A while ago, he was just like, man, I hate driving. We opened up our cans, knocked them together, and downed them. Dude, they're getting wasted. Hey, it was actually good. The pleasant bitterness and the refreshing carbonation made for a good combo. Yeah, they got the lemon beers. Or the lemon alcohol. Those are pretty good.
このためだけに生きてる。
その若さでそれはないでしょう。
言い過ぎた。愛や将来にもまだ絶望してません。
ところが就活という影が迫る。
いややめて。せっかくのビールがまずくなる。
She laughed and took a huge sip. It was pretty clear she could hold her drink. That aside, something really bothered me. Yeah, what is it? What is it, sir?
お誘いに乗っておいてなんだけど。
何？
Her cheeks were already red. Maybe she didn't handle her liquor as well as I thought. Yeah, I mean, look at her face right now. I'd be pretty concerned. She had a well-featured face, and I didn't think it was wrong to consider her beautiful. Yeah, she's pretty cute, I'd have to say. She looks like a childhood friend type, except she's not her childhood friend. The calm before the storm. Yeah, don't say that. No! Sure, her clothes weren't the least bit sexy, but I could tell she had some makeup on.
僕は完全に正体不明の自称迷い人だよね。
そうね。
君は年頃の女性。今は深夜。ワンルームの密室で男と二人っきり。その上アルコールまで入ってしまった。
Sir, where are you trying to get at here? Sir! Sir!
おお。
身の危険を感じたりとかは？
She kept gulping the drink even as she formulated a response. Don't you think it's dangerous for you, my dude? You don't know this woman. You don't know where you are. The very fact that I could just watch her do that made this a pretty risky situation, and yet...
あんまりないかな。
Yeah, Haruaki, you just met this woman. I mean, she is pretty cute, but you just met this woman. What are you...
それは
Or maybe he's a lot more like a himbo. Maybe he's just dumb.
芹沢千恵美クイズ。
イエーイ。
問題。ふと気づいたら低層が瀬戸際にもかかわらず、芹沢千恵美は特に身の危険を感じない。なぜでしょう？
Huh, why indeed? Is it because the guy's not Chad enough? What a fun girl. This only made me like her more, increasing the danger even further.
質問 OK？
どうぞ。
僕のことがいい人っぽいという答えはなしでいいかな？
No, that's definitely not it. That's definitely.
悪い人に見えるってわけじゃないけど、まあなしかな。女の子慣れしてそうだし。
Yeah. He's probably experienced. That unintentional compliment showed that she actually did see me as a potential danger.
考えられる回答は大きく2つ。想定外だが何が起きても問題ない もしくは想定通り。
Interesting. This is getting very interesting. We gotta delve in deeper, man.
前者はいろいろ考えられるかな。例えばちえみちゃんが何かやげっぱちになっていてどうにでもなれって場合。
That could be true. But that would mean... No, but she's a virgin. She said she's a virgin. Unless she's not. Then I think she would care.
あ
Right?
るいは十分な自衛手段がある。実は護身術の達人で僕なんか軽く乗せるとかね。
Okay, that's a pretty valid explanation.
おー、論理的。春明さん理系だね。
まあそうかな。一方で後者、つまりこの状況が君の想定通りって場合は。
Then this is where the interesting part comes in.
例えば、私がエロエロですとか。
Wow, talk about not mincing words.
酔っ払ってきた。
Ah,
さて、他には何があるでしょう。
so she's the type to get horny when she drinks. I see. Indeed, what other reason could a woman have to bring a stranger to her home? I mean, you are lost, there's nothing else. But then again, I don't know, man. It would surely be something non-standard, like...
僕の存在が君の利益になる例。
That sounds very logical.
例えばアリバイ工作。君がここにいたと後日僕が証言することで君が有利になる。
おー、ちゃっかり利用するわけだ。
Maybe this dude's taking this too seriously.
あるいは
Maybe I'm
ちえみ
taking
ちゃん
it
が
too
恐るべき
seriously.
殺人鬼で僕を酔っ払わせてぶっ殺す。
That could be possible.
はあ、ヤマンバ。いいね。ブッシュブッシュ殺しちゃう。
What kind of sound effect was that?
ちなみに前提で出た2つのケースの他に1つあるよ。
あれ抜けてた？
うん。私がとってもいい人で春明さんを助けてあげたい一心だっていうケース。
Huh. I don't know about that one. Although that is possible. Was it time for me to be ashamed of my filthy mind?
いやで
Yeah,
もそれで
basically.
自分が襲われるかもって考えたら。
おー、襲うって言っちゃったよこの人。
Oh.
一般論ね。
She stopped talking and turned red. It was so cute, I thought she was actually doing it on purpose. Man, was she drunk. Interesting. We were just on our second cans. Alright, you guys go to sleep.
じゃあこういうのは止めないともっとひどいことになる。それはさすがに忍びないなとか。
ごめん、もうちょっと詳しく。
Yo, this tension. There's this sexual tension.
この辺りには怖い野生動物が出ます。このまま見捨てたらとても寝覚めの悪い思いをするかもしれません。それならまあ止めてあげようかしら。
なるほど。リスクと善意を天秤にかけるってわけか。これは想定外。
想定外か。この人だいぶ悪い人なんじゃないかって気がしてきたな。
え、そう？
だって善意を選択肢に入れる前に殺人鬼とかアリバイとかエロエロとかさ。
Well, yeah, but then again, I don't know you.
エロエロは君が言い出したんでしょうが。
そうだったっけ？で、答えは？
え、これって単なるバカ話じゃないの？
Not just messing around. Haruaki, you can't just ask that.
正解者には素敵なプレゼント。不正解者はブッシュブッシュ殺します。
Seriously? Oh crap! Okay. Yo, let me save real quick, brother. Bookmark number 2. Okay. Okay. Obviously, what do I think? She's desperate, needs an alibi, thirsty perv, or she just feel guilty? Hmm. I mean, do these choices even matter? I don't think so. But I think maybe she just really would feel guilty if I mean, yeah, where else would you take me if you saw a stranger, right?
ピンポーン正解です。
Oh, cool.
まあ
Hell
実
yeah.
際この辺危ないしね。鹿にイノシシに野犬にクマ。
Okay, so I got the right choice.
鹿とイノシシは実際見たけど、クマもいるの？
うん、月の輪だけどね。あんまり多くはないけど、昔襲われた人もいたし、ちょっと外は危ない。
What are moon bears? I've never
なん
seen
てワイ
anything.
ルドな。
でも本当にヤバい動物は他に。
Oops, sorry.
なんだろう。クマよりヤバい動物？
ヘビ、サル、カラス、クモ。
Monkey. Were they venomous or something? I really doubted that. Venomous monkey. Those really didn't seem worse than bears. I mean, yeah, actually. What's she on
あ
about?
とオオカ
日本にはオオカミはいないでしょ
ミ。いるかもよ。こんな田舎には。
She smiled and drank out of the third can.
まあ理由がどうあれ、まんまと美女宅に侵入を果たした春明さんは自分がオオカミになっちゃうのかな。
う。やめとく。
She's really provoking him.
紳士、もう一本あげちゃう。
I wasn't too sure, but I felt like she dodged the subject. Perhaps I wasn't being cautious enough. Yeah, something's fishy here. Then again, I'd been wandering aimlessly for a long time now. I had enough recklessness in me to enjoy sharing a drink with a cute, if shady, girl. So we both think she is shady. And we both think she is pretty cute. Alright. Spiders and monkeys and bears. Spider monkeys. Okay, January, February, March, April, May 12? So I am assuming we're hungover. The last thing I remember was our little, when was the last time you pissed yourself while sleeping talk? I had to tell her about the time I got so drunk I wet my pants in the middle of the boarding house. She'd laughed so hard she started frothing at the mouth and passed out. I woke up with a splitting headache. Yeah. Oh man. Morning already? Light poured in through the frosted window. I pulled out my phone and checked the time. 7 in the morning. That's pretty early to wake up considering you guys drank. I'd gone to sleep somewhere between 2 and 3, which probably wasn't quite enough sleep. That's around 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4.5. Yeah, that's not enough, man. At least I didn't wake up to some horror movie scene. The building wasn't in ruins and the girl wasn't actually a skeleton. High five. Though in a way, this might have been worse. Strange and gross topic, but I guess they were drunk. Yeah. They were. She was spread out on the floor on the other side of the mini table. Her breathing was mixed with some weird gurgling sounds. You should probably wake her up. She might choke on herself. I hesitantly looked at her. The saint that saved me from the hell I was in last night had puked in the middle of her sleep. Yo! Yo, get her up! She's gonna choke. What was I supposed to do here? You bring her to the bathroom? As a guest, I couldn't really be too harsh on her. Yeah, but she might die.
ちえみちゃん
She wasn't waking up. Well, I just do what little I could. Which is... There, that should be good enough. I'd used tons of toilet paper to clean up her mess and flush it down the toilet. Alright. It left a stain on the floor, but it was dirty to begin with, so whatever. Yeah, that's me. I'd even wet a towel and cleaned her face. Even then, she showed no signs of waking up. Huh. Some of it was on her hair and clothes, but I figured it was best if she took care of that herself. Yeah.
ちえみちゃん。
朝
The first hint of consciousness so far today.
ちょっと出ておくから。
Without waiting for a response, I walked to the entrance. She'd have to take a shower and change and all that, so I'd kill time outside. I stepped into my still damp shoes with my bare feet. My socks were in the washing machine with the towel she gave me to wipe my legs, and reached for the doorknob. I feel like she was about to say something to me, but I just left. I opened the door and was greeted by a gust of wind. Ah, the great outdoors. The raindrops gathered on the leaves of the tree next to the building flew right into my face, making me grimace. The rain from last night was already over. The sky was pretty clear, but despite that, I noticed the visibility of my surroundings was poor. The building was surrounded by leaves. The old structure was basically buried in a forest of trees. I can't say trees properly. About as tall as itself. There were branches poking into the exposed hallway. I almost felt like they'd reached out and grabbed me if I wasn't careful. I kind of felt like I was an overgrown woman. Woman? No, ruin. What am I saying? I turned around and saw the room and Chiemi just as I left them. Yep, it was all real. I closed the door. There were other rooms in this building, which made me wonder if they were occupied. Hell, I wondered the same thing about the area in general. I pushed the branches aside to see if there were other buildings nearby. Suddenly, something entered my vision. Huh. Ain't that Resident Evil lady? Which one? This lady? Nah. What is going on? Wait, where am I looking at? Am I looking below? It didn't feel right. Something that shouldn't have been there. A random priestess. The leaves I moved revealed a woman and clad in curious clothing. The moment I recognized her as such, she opened her closed eyes. Did her eyes meet? Cute. Another strong wind. I shielded my face from the spray of raindrops. When I looked outside again, the woman was nowhere in sight. Was that an illusion? If not, then what? What kind of place was this? I mean, she could have just went left or right, and you wouldn't be able to see her. It could have been a real Hicksville. What does that mean? Hicksville. A marginal village, a bunch of actual ruins, or an illegal settlement. I had some theories, but I set them aside from now. It seemed like a place worth exploring regardless. Yeah, dude, this is just a random building in the middle of nowhere. I went down the stairs and found no sign of the woman, or anyone else for that matter. A short distance away from the building, I turned around and sure enough, it was pretty much covered in trees. I went to the place where I saw the woman. There were footprints in the grass here. Maybe I'd find her if I followed them. Yeah. They led me to an open area. It was unused, but it looked like someone was trying to do something with it. Was it supposed to be a construction site? Even if it was clearly abandoned. There were large rocks and lots of sediment near a prefab. From what I could tell, there had been a giant landslide which forced them to stop construction. The fact that plant growth was still minimal meant that it had happened fairly recently. The footprints seemed to be going down the hill next to the site. Okay. Yeah, probably shouldn't be following such a sus woman, but okay. Following them, I finally saw something that could be called civilization. There was a set of paddy fields with houses nearby. Oh! So this was actually a settlement. What a relief. I decided to keep following the footprints and approach the settlement. Okay. I came across another unpaved path that was clearly used by people and cars. It was lined with weeds and bushes reaching up to my waist. It was home to caterpillars and grasshoppers among other things. Spiders were no exception. There was no shortage of insects here. So it was a good place for a net. I wasn't particularly scared of spiders, but I didn't like them either. At least they were just harmless orb weavers. Regardless, I avoided these bushes just in case, and followed the path like the good city boy I was. I'm a good city boy. there was a larger boulder surrounded by grass. It was strangely tall. I'm assuming it's this one on the left here, making it look like it was put there by people. Maybe it's a landmark. On its dewy surface, there was a gray tree frog ready to go after the many insects scattered about. Show us the frog. I want to see frog. I walked a bit further and came across a house with a small field nearby. The field's location made it safe to assume it belonged to the inhabitants. If there were inhabitants anyway, I couldn't see anyone, and just like always, there was grass everywhere. There was another boulder standing next to the house. This one was obviously placed by a human hand. What was the point? Was it a monument or something? Could be. The footprints continued into the field. Oh, this is a nice little farm in the middle of nowhere. The wet mud on the field was full of small, young, but healthy-looking rice plants. If you ignored the standing boulders in the area, the place looked like a normal farming village. And maybe it is. Maybe these boulders are summoning circles. I was both relieved and worried at the same time. From what I saw, there weren't any other buildings besides the ones in this settlement. Everything beyond was just mountains, meaning that this place was completely isolated. And I was a complete outsider. There was no way things would go well if I ran into a random local. Wait, why not? I belatedly crouched to hide myself a bit. It was probably best for me to go back. Shimi might have been looking for me. That's true. Suddenly, I heard a sound. I looked for its source and found a speaker on a wooden utility pole in the middle of a small plaza. A morning broadcast? I'd never heard this tune before. It was cheerful at first, but had some parts that seemed really dark. I found it unsettling. Perplexed, I stopped walking, and what happened next made me hide myself. Ria, hello! Welcome. Thank you for thinking my narration is good. There was a person in the area densely surrounded by houses, but they weren't normal. Oh, good lord, what was that appearance? Maybe they're having a little religious thingy. Oh no, this has to be a cult village. Oh, you've been lurking? Thank you for lurking and being here. What was that on her face? Though I was a fair distance away, I could see an old woman with some sort of cloth over her face shakily walk out from between the buildings. Oddly enough, there were boulders even there. But even weirder was the fact she walked up to one of them, lightly joined her hands and bowed her head before it, her face still hidden. Then all was silence. So it's a weird cult. It actually looked like she was revering it. To me, it looked like she was praying to it. This was bad, really bad. I'd wandered into a settlement with a unique culture, to put it lightly. A unique cult. Period. Forget causing trouble. An outsider like me could get killed here. I just turned it around and ran for it. Yo, get the hell out of there. Oh, wait. But Chiemi is probably part of this stupid cult. Because she lives here. Past the house, through the construction site, until I arrived back at the apartment building. Chiemi looked like a relatively reasonable person. Maybe she could tell me what was up. It just hit me that the way she described this place was somewhat weird. She basically said it wasn't normal.
あるいは、ちえみちゃんが恐るべき殺人鬼で、僕を酔っ払わせてぶっ殺す。
Maybe you aren't a serial killer and this is a serial killer town.
はあ、ヤマンバ。いいね。ブッシュブッシュ殺しちゃう。
Nah, she was joking. No way. No way, dude. What if she was actually the bait they used to lure outsiders here? Nah. Eventually, the broadcast stopped. Shimmy still hadn't come out of her room. She didn't respond even when I knocked or called out to her. Maybe she's not there anymore? I didn't have to worry about this, right? That just made my inexplicable unease grow worse. What if this was a trap? Was I in a dangerous situation? I had to talk to her. Well, we did get drunk, slept, and we're still alive, so... Unless she's marinating me to trust her. Maybe my best option was to run away right now. Maybe. Maybe, dude. And then we'll have a the end screen and we're done. That's Raging Loop. I wouldn't know where to run. I couldn't remember the path we'd taken here. Though I was pretty sure we'd went uphill. So maybe I had to go down? If I avoided the settlement and went back to the mountain stream, I could escape by following the wild roads. That was my best option, even with the difficulties considered. Thankfully, I'd taken my bag with me. I took out a 5,000 yen note and put it in Chiyomi's newspaper box. It was payment for last night's beer. That is a lot of money for beer. But she was pretty nice, and we're not dead, so... The moment I turned around to take my leave, the door to the room next to the staircase opened slightly with a creak. Holy crap! I saw an eye glaring at me through the gap. Her high-pitched scream pierced my eardrums. I screamed too, scared shitless, and ran for it. Suddenly, I stepped onto the wet hallway floor at a bad angle. And I fell. Yeah, of course he did. Thud, thud, thud.
はるちゃんどうした？
ああ、誰このおっちゃん。
あなた誰ですか？っていうか大丈夫ですか？
Huh? The reasonable sounding voice prompted me to shake off the pain and raise my head. Oh! Hello, General. Hello, Governor. There were two boys in formal-looking school uniforms. These are suspiciously old-fashioned, although I don't know what time period we are in. And this little boy over here is wearing an oversized one, which is kind of cute.
大丈夫ですか？
Are you alright? He repeated the question.
ああ、ちょっと驚いただけで。
おっちゃん、ちえねえの友達？
You could say that. Chiene?
ああ、ちえみちゃんのことか。
大学のお知り合いですか？お知り合いが来るなんて聞いてなかった。
いや、いろいろあって助けられたんだ。怪しいものじゃないんだ。怪しく見えるだろうけど。
怪しいな、おっちゃん。
You're calling me an old man, dude?
どうすればいいのかな。とりあえず、名前は房石春明と言います。
僕は織部安永です。こっちは鴨志田近持。
Oh my god, these names are too long. This is Yasunaga and Chikamochi. Okay.
モッチーだ。
Mochi, alright. Thank you. Thank you, Mochi. Good to know. If I called him that, maybe he'd stop calling me old man. I was only 24. Old
それでこっ
man.
ちが。はるちゃん何してんの？
Haru-chan, what are you doing?
だって知らない人が。
Oh? Apparently this Haru-chan was the person who looked at me through the gap in the door and screamed.
とりあえず大丈夫そうだから出ておいでよ。
She slammed the door shut, and after a few moments of hesitation, she opened it again. Oh, hello. I like her design. She looks like a... How do I describe it? Like, she looks like a... like a rebel, but also like a proper student somehow, like a mix of both. Interesting. Whoa, she looked like a student too, except her fashion sense was exceptionally flashy. Yeah, I kind of like it.
あなた
Yeah, she's really
誰
cute,
ですか
right? Who are you?
夫妻市春明といって、この近くでバイクで事故って芹沢千恵美さんに助けられたんだ。
それってもしかして昨日の夜知恵姉の部屋に
It's not what it looks like.
うん、止めてもらった。
通りで騒がしかったと思った。何考えてるの？嫁入り前の女性の
Oh
家に
my god.
不潔。
I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Guys, you have a lesson here. Do not enter an unmarried girl's room.
ああ、うん。それはその通りで、僕もちょっと躊躇はしたんだけど、千恵美ちゃんが親切で。
Haru, stop looking at me like that. I didn't do anything, I promise.
ちえみちゃん、あれなれしい。それじゃあもしかしてちえ姉が出てこないのって。ドアに5000円挟んであるじゃん。
No! No. It's not what it looks like.
夫妻さん、まさか。
No.
違う。単に昨日お酒をおごられたからそのお返しで。
ちえ姉の体が5000円ってそんな安いわけないでしょ。
No.
ただれてるな。
Yo, you guys, yo, you stupid kids, you don't know anything.
ああ、君、助けてくれないか？
Dude, this guy's not gonna help us out.
初対面で女性の部屋でお酒を飲んだんですか？そして知恵姉は出てこない。
I promise you guys, I was not the problem, she was the problem. Crap, I had no allies here.
一体何事？
Please, Chimmy, save me. And so the subject of the conversation joined in.
おお、千恵美ちゃん、君からも事情を説明。
Something was off about her aura. Oh god, she doesn't remember anything. She does not remember anything. Oh my god. Oh, fuck. What happened to the lively girl she'd been yesterday?
知恵姉、まさか。
恥ずかしいとこを見られちゃった。
おお、いや、ちょっと待って、ちょっと。
もう嫁行けない。
Okay, no. She does remember. Alright. No, we're good. Man, what a mess. Though Chimi's face was all pale, she was actually grinning. Yeah, she's fucking with us. She obviously had a bad hangover, but that didn't stop her from messing around. This woman. She's out to kill me, for real. After calming everyone down, Chimi explained what actually happened. How we met in the middle of the night, how she let me stay out of goodwill, and how we drank ourselves silly, and how nothing happened between us. Thank you.
いやー、久々に深酒しちゃって思いっきり吐いちゃったよ。春明さん、お見苦しいとこ申し訳ない。
ああ、いや、それはいいんだけど。
That Haru-chan girl still looked at me funny. Please. You know what? Fair. That's pretty
非
fair.
常識。
ああ、うん。申し訳ない。昨日は本当に疲労困憊でね。つい好意に甘えてしまったんだ。
I mean, Haruaki, I'm pretty sure you had another reason aside from being tired, but alright.
まあ知恵ねえだしな。雑把だよな。
事情も事情だし、年寄りたちも納得するかな。
Have good reasons for being here? I feel like this is such a sus area. I don't like it here.
ちなみに会ったのってどこです？
それはね。
下の方の河原だよ。
My words made everyone change their expressions. I feel like this is a secluded village where none of the people are supposed to go outside and nobody's supposed to be going inside. I think.
そ それはちょっと。
大騒ぎだ。2日連続で2人もだなんて。
もしかしてまずいこと言った？
はあ、まあいずれバレることよ。さっきあれだけ大騒ぎしちゃったから休みず中に知れちゃったろうし。
So the area is called Yasumizu.
君、2日連続で2人もって何のこと？
触らないで、汚い。
Haru, please. Yo, maybe Haruaki is filthy, but not me. I wasn't trying to touch her, and I wasn't filthy. Sure, I hadn't had a bath in over a day, but still. I mean, you're probably pretty stinky, my dude.
何が騒ぎになるの？
タエバあたりが拒否ってなる。
Yeah? Well, that sure sounded bad.
詳しい話を聞かせてくれない？
ちょっと説明は難しいんですけど、まあここは田舎なんで町といろいろ違うってことですよ。
This is the countryside. No, this is not a normal countryside. This guy here was Oribe-kun, ignored Chiemi, and he was the easiest person to talk to.
どうすればいいかな？
まあちえみがなんとかしましょう。学生諸君はとりあえずご飯行かないと。
この混乱には乗るっきゃない。
Mochi, mind your own business,
乗るっき
Mochi.
ゃなくないもっち。とりあえず行っちゃいな。
まあちょっと時間ずらした方がいいよね。揉めそうだし。
さすがやすくん、察しがいいぞ。ごめんけど2人のお守りよろしくね。
うん。
もう知恵ね、子供扱いはやめてよ。
Y'all are still in high school, though. Sorry.
そうだ、うんこしてやるぞ。
He was gonna poop on us, no.
ほらほら行くぞ、モッチーにはるちゃん。
And so the students walked off towards the stairs, and it was kind of easy to tell what sort of relationship they had. Yeah. Anyway,
彼らがこの建物の他の住人？
そういうこと。学生寮だからね、ここ。
oh, a student dorm in the Hicksville. Still, my senses had betrayed me. There were actually other people here.
ちなみに春明さん、他の人と出会ってトラブったりしてないよね。
Technically,
うん。一応それ警戒してたから。
yeah. No, we got caught. We got caught by one person.
ならよかった。よし、ちょっとしたら食堂に行きましょう。
That sus-looking priest lady.
あ、朝食？
の朝食は今から食べてください。食堂へは一応面通しをしに行くの。
The dining hall.
誰と？
よそ者が皿長からやってきたってことに文句を言いそうな人たち。
Saranaga. Taiba person.
お世話になります。
いいってことです。その代わり朝のことは秘密で。
This morning? Oh, yeah, sure. Sure.
そりゃもちろん。ところで、皿長って何？
そう、皿長の瀬っていう川だけど、あの辺まとめて皿長って呼ぶの。
Oh, the
ち
cult.
ょっと曰くのある場所でね。
Okay.
いわく。
あの川は汚れていて死人が帰ってくるみたいな伝説がね。
Oh, good lord. I feel like that's pretty important to the story. Oh. So that's why they reacted like that.
他にもその手のルールというか、しきたりみたいなのが？
たくさんあります。なので基本ちえみちゃんにお任せを。
Gladly, on all
ちなみ
fronts.
に、身の危険とかは？
ないない。でもいろいろ不愉快な思いをする前に早く出ていけた方がいいかも。
What is that supposed to mean? Hello?
そのための根回しに行くと。
そうそう。
The settlement I'd strayed to was a weird place, but at least the guide was reliable. And she wanted me to leave ASAP, huh? I wonder why. That was depressing. Oh, okay. Well, hold up. I need to go to the toilet. BRB. Alright, I am back. This is quite a long first chapter, if I do say so myself. Shimi gave me some cup ramen for breakfast. She boiled the water in a small electric kettle. The girl herself was too hungover to eat anything. I thought you'd want to eat more when you're hungover. Hungover. I did take the opportunity to pay her back for last night's drinks in person, though. Then we made our way to the dining hall.
この岩って何なの？
一応お守りみたいなもの昔からあるよ。
Okay.
よそでは見たことないよ。
ああ、言われたらそうかも。
Uh-huh. She led me along a narrower path than I'd followed earlier. It didn't seem like any cars used this one. It was very farmy, I guess. This area was also littered with those boulders. Some were cracked, broken, or half buried in the fields. They were clearly religious symbols, but it didn't look like they were that important these days. Or were they? Now that I knew I was safe, I once again became curious about this place.
人だ。
He was working on the field.
たくみ兄ちゃんだ。おはよ
Chiemi waves her hand, the man responded, but then froze mid-wave.
う。じゃあ行きましょう。
いいの？多分あの人、僕の存在に驚いたんじゃ。
大丈夫。どうせ後で食堂に来るから、説明はその時にするってことで。
You know what, that does save a lot of time. Well, if she said so. As an outsider, I had no choice but to rely on her. Yeah, that's true. This is a part of the village I saw this morning, where the buildings were mostly densely packed. I didn't notice it back then, but it was actually kind of weird. Basically, it felt desolate. The wooden bungalows in particular were more or less overgrown, buried in tall grass and other greenery. If this was all I saw of the village and someone told me it was abandoned, I'd have easily believed them. However, the two of the buildings stand out. Oh, there was a hall right beyond the hill. A giant shrine. It wasn't that big, but it looked grand and well maintained. The other building was obviously the dining hall. It looks like a little ramen shop. It looked like a bit dirty, but I could tell there were people inside from what I could tell. It was the most lively place in this poor excuse of a community. Yo! What are you saying, dude? I mean, I know it's kind of sus in a pretty weird community, but you shouldn't be saying that. Suddenly, the three students walked out chatting about something.
知恵ねと久石さん。
サイドおはよう。ちょっと遅くない？モッチーがバカなことばっか言って遅くなっちゃったんだもん。そうだ、僕が悪だ。味噌汁をよこせ。まあ早足なら間に合うでしょう。みんなしっかり勉強しといで。
I wonder where the school is in this place. And if there's other students. Half dashing, the three ran up the path we came
みん
from.
な高校生なんだ。
そう、山をぐーっと登ったところに分校があるんだ。私も3年前まで通ってたな。
Oh, so she is from this village, and then she goes to college in the city, and now she's staying back here. Okay. Just school all the way up the
やたら
mountain.
不便だね。
それでもみんなあの寮に住める分優遇されてるんだけど。
Chiemi was entirely straight-faced. Oh, so the other rooms are probably other students then. There wasn't even a hint of a smile.
さあ、気合を入れて入りましょう。
そうしましょ
気合入んない。
We laughed a little and passed the curtain. Huh.
いらっしゃい。あら、
The inside was as aged as the outside, but it looked well maintained.
ちえみちゃん、お客さん？
The hostess-looking lady asked. Though somewhat aged and fatigued, she was definitely beautiful. There were two others beside her. One was an old lady in her 70s or 80s. She was probably the one I saw this morning. Yeah. Very sus old lady. The other was a man who seemed a bit younger than her, probably in his late 60s. He has some very odd-looking pecs. He has like 6 pecs. Interesting. Though they were just sitting here, there was a menacing aura about them.
紹介するね。久石春明さん。昨日の晩、皿長で迷ってたのを千恵美が保護しました。
Oh my goodness. They're probably gonna kill me. The lady gasped while the two elders rose to their feet with alarm. The tension that was already there the moment I walked in reached its peak.
気にするのもわかるけど、これは単なる偶然です。あの子と違って、この人は素性が明らかだし、バイクで旧道に突っ込んで事故ったって非常に気の毒な事情もある。
Little girl. Makes me think a little bit.
そんなわけで、我々としてはこの人がちゃんと帰れるように手伝ってあげるのがいいと千恵美は思います。どうですか、皆様方。
After saying all that, Chimmy fell silent. The ball was in their court now. He's gonna be like, we should kill this young lad. I do not like him. Oh.
まあ、それは大変。
The lady voiced a harmless opinion, careful not to upset the old people. It was pretty clear who was in charge. They were elders in more ways than one.
ちいちゃんはなんで夜に皿長なんぞ言っとったかね。
虫の知らせかな。前の日にあんなことあったし、眠れなかったから。
そいじゃ
Oh my god.
読み人じゃないんかね。
Yo, I'm not a Yomibito. Stop looking at me like that, lady. Ah, she's Taiba. Okay. From the conversation, it was pretty clear that something had happened before I arrived here. It was probably similar to what happened with me. She'd mentioned some little girl. Perhaps there was a child who'd wandered in here like I did? But I had a motorbike. According to Chiami, the Saranaga Rapids were a place of significance around here. It was a place from which dead people came to life or whatever. Oh, so this Tai must have been a lady that the boy mentioned, and the Yomibito must have been a term for the dead who came from there. Huh. Apparently, the primary goal here was convincing these elders to approve of helping me. The old man's voice put my derailed mind back on track.
はい、東京です。
いくつじゃ。
年は24です。
地位より上じゃが。
He chuckled. I immediately realized he was taking a jab at me for hiding behind a younger girl. What the fuck, man? Nothing wrong with that.
申し遅れました。久石春明です。芹沢さんにも紹介された通り、バイクで事故って迷い込みました。どうやら僕は、ここでは異分子のようで、変なことを言ったりしたりして、皆さんに迷惑かけたくないなと。それで、芹沢さんに紹介をお願いしたんですが、僕から改めてお願いします。
Oh, this man's pretty smart.
すぐ出て行きますから、それまでは僕の存在を多めに見ていただけないかと。それと、僕を助けてくれた芹沢さんを責めないであげてください。
春明さん。
おそらく芹沢さんは、ここの常識を外れたところで、僕を助けてくれたんだと思うんです。
まあ。
これでも大人です。自分の責任は自分で取りますし、皆さんにかけた迷惑は可能な限り償います。
Now this is a smart man taking responsibility, guys. This guy looks like he stole your outfit. No, yeah, we were talking about that. Yo, we're like buddies. We go to the same college together. Hey guys. But yeah, there we go. Hello, Wind. Thank you though. Thank you for stopping by.
ですので、どうかお願いします。
I bowed my head.
ちゃんとしとる、タイバ。
あたしゃすかんわね。そんなに髪茶色に染めてから。
Excuse me, dude. What's wrong with brown hair? What's wrong with brown hair, lady? You tell me. Shit, I forgot I didn't look very presentable to more traditionalist people. Yes, my modern clothes. Sorry about that. Wait, but Chiemi has some pretty cool modern clothes.
よそは皆こうよ。はよう返せばええ。
ほいじゃあ好きにしなさいね。
guess I got their half-hearted approval?
春秋。春か。うちの孫も春じゃ。紛らわしい。
あ、もしかして
あ、何？
そう、はるちゃんのおじいさんの牧島勘三さんよ。
Oh, he's a secret time traveler? Maybe. Maybe he is.
どうも。
I didn't know what else to say. Haru-chan and I weren't on the best of terms so far. We're gonna be in trouble with this man later. Anyway, it seemed like we were past the difficult part.
皿長に突っ込んだか。
いえ、コンビニで道を聞いた後、脇道に入って未舗装になったところで滑り落ちて横転しました。
で、皿長登ったか。なぜ途中で引き返さねえ？
I don't know. He wasn't impressed by my choice of actions. You know how it is. It just hit me that I had no idea how much time passed between the crash and my meeting with Chiemi. Huh.
わしと匠で見てきちゃる。
匠は他を見よるわよ。
タエバ、追い出す思うて手伝わせ。
カンちゃんはいっつもそうね。
ばあちゃん、おやさん。
Yo.
どうした？
Yo. What's up, dude? I'm joined by a new inhabitant.
チエミ、こいつは？
Yo, that's... Yo, you versus the guy she told you not to worry about. This dude's huge. Oh my goodness. It's buff Aspho? No. No. Oh, so he was the one who we saw in the field. He is gigantic. Yeah, he sure looked big from up close. All that fieldwork was good for his muscles, clearly. From what I could tell, he was in his 30s. Oh. Okay. As Chiemi introduced me and told him of my situation, I found out his name was Takumi Mura.
ああ、そいつは災難だったな。ああ、おやさん。
わしとお前で拾う。
だな。ばあちゃん、こいつ助けっからちょっと待っててな。もう農薬は巻き終わってるから、昼から草刈るわ。
匠は優しいね。
こんなもんなんでもないって。すぐ何もなかったようにできるからよ。
そうね。
Thank you. He's gonna pick up my bike. What a madman. What a buff madman. Is this your dad? Yeah, this is my dad, guys. Mr. Takumi.
え、僕ですか？はい。
ここは休みに言うてね。あんまりええ場所じゃないんよ。
What do you mean by that, old lady? Nani? It was a place that wasn't good? Not my presence here?
あたしらもよそのもんが苦手だし、よそのもんも触れんがええ。じゃから、はよ出てお行き。
I feel like the longer I stay here, the more in danger I will be.
はい。そのつもりです。
Yeah, that's a plan.
話はついた感じだ。
ありがとう、匠兄ちゃん。
I was beginning to understand how things worked here. Although Kanzo Makishima's voice was the most powerful here, it was also important to get Tai-san's approval. Kanzo-san was probably in charge of tackling the settlement's practical problems, while Tai-san provided spiritual and moral direction. And when it was time to be civilized, Takumi-san came and convinced Tai-san, acting as an intermediary. It looked like Takumi-san himself understood such subtleties, and Chiemi seemed to rely on this side of him. The lady brought some tea to the old folk. Perfect timing. I wonder if they're married. So that was her name, Kaori.
朝早くからお疲れ様でした。大盛りにしますからね。
なーに、安水とばあちゃんと香織さんのためならへでも。
They don't have the same last name though.
まあ
There definitely was something going on here. Yeah, these two sure seem to get along. And they looked about the same age.
さあお客さんもご飯にされます？
あ、いえ、いただいてきたので。
それじゃあお茶をどうぞ。おにぎりでもお出ししましょう。
それはそれは。
I mean, wasn't I hungry? Why not?
ごめんなさい。ちょっと急ぎで電話借りていいかな、香織さん。
Okay. Oh?
それはいいけど、お茶くらいは。
うん、ありがとう。でも本当緊急だから。行こう、春明さん。
I feel like Chimmy's trying to save me from some sort of situation.
うん。
Alright, thank you. We went up the nearby stairs to what happened to seem... Wait, I don't know how to read. To what seemed like a living space. At the end of the creaky hallway, there was a black rotary phone, a rarity in this day and age.
これがここ、安水唯一の電話だから。
Huh. Seriously?
ちなみに、携帯電話はどのキャリアも通じませんので。
Huh.
そうなのか。でもどこに電話しろって？
ロードサービスとか保険とか、あと必要なら家族にも連絡。
That makes sense. Oh, that made sense. Hell, I should have been the one to say that.
さっきも言ったけど、できるだけここを早く出られた方がいいから、使えるものは何でも使いましょう。
よそ者が歓迎されない場所だから？
そういうことです。
それ以上の詮索は無用と。
Yes.
春明さんはとっても察しがいい。それはいいことだと思う。ただ好奇心もとっても強く見える。
バレたか。
バレますとも。でも正直あんまりいろいろ首突っ込まない方がいいかも。
You gotta mind your business, Haruaki.
どうせすぐに別れるんだし。
Or is it because I have a crush on Chiemi?
その通り。
なんだか寂しいな。
お、ちえみちゃんのメアド御所も
Uh-huh, making the moves.
くれるならぜひ。
やったこれで男友達53人
目。テンションガタ落ちですわ。
We still went on to exchange our info. I could only hope that being number 53 wasn't as big of a problem as it sounded.
それはともかく、個人的興味で言えば、何が問題になってて、どんな背景があるのか知りたいのだけど。
おすすめしないな。
なぜかな。
私が不愉快になるから。
あんまり故郷が好きじゃない？
うん。正直嫌い。
ここの人とは仲良さそうに見えるけど。
ああ、それは見えるだけですね。私相当な問題児だったんで、ご年配方とは結構気まずいよ。
So maybe that's why she decided to study outside?
それに、パッと見はわからないいろんなしがらみもあるし。まあ、住人自体はそんなに嫌いじゃないけどね。
あ、でも、一つだけ聞いていい？
Oh wait, I forgot to read. Wait, hold on. With that, I decided to stop prying about this place any further. I'd back away before she came to hate me. Yeah, smart decision.
いい度胸。
室匠さんのこと好きだったりする？
Uh-huh.
え？私が？
Okay, Mr. Haruaki.
うん。
You're being a little too obvious.
さすがにそれはないな。匠兄ちゃんかっこいいけど、ごつすぎるし、10以上年違うし。それに、匠兄ちゃんは昔から香織さん一筋だし。
やっぱそうなんだ。結婚してるわけじゃないの？
うん。香織さん未亡人だから。
Oh. Well, that seemed complicated. Yeah, probably don't wanna snoop your nose in there. That aside, Chimmy had been acting a bit strange. Why had she dragged me away from the tea? It seemed so awkward, too. Assuming she hadn't been jealous of Kaori-san and simply didn't want her to charm me, it would mean that she just hadn't wanted me to drink the tea. Why? Also, why'd she feed me a cup of ramen? I could have just gotten food at the dining hall. This town is definitely trying to kill me. Looking too deep into things was part of my nature, though things were never as bad as I assumed. But maybe I'll be wrong this time around. I went on to call my insurance company where I found out something. Apparently this village was hundreds of kilometers away from the nearest service station, meaning I was ineligible for the normal service and had to pay extra. Damn it. And the extra was no small amount. No. 100,000 yen. Dude. Also, I could have avoided this if I had taken a more expensive plan. This was all my own fault for not taking the bike salesman's advice. Shit. I said I would consider it and hung up. Then I went back to the dining hall. Why did we go back?
あれ、おじいさんたちは
The customers had changed completely. Tai-san, Kanzo-san, and Takumi-san were gone now. They were replaced by a caricature of juvenile delinquent.
誰だよてめえ。
Nani? Good. He shouted at me. He seemed like he was trying too hard. He then slammed his bowl and chopsticks on the table and stood up to intimidate me.
夫妻師春明です。
あ？なめてんのか。
こら。
まあ、義継。初対面の方になんて口の利き方を。
うるせえババ。おいチーネ、そいつ誰だよ。
Dude, Baba.
バイクで事故った旅行者の春明さん。
Boy, was that introduction half-assed.
改めてこちら織部香織さんと次男の義継くん、安永くんが長男ね。
安永くんって朝の彼？
そう、よく見たら似てるでしょ。
Yasunaga-kun? Who's Yasunaga-kun? Oh, Yasu. The Oribes. What an unpredictable family. It's the glasses guy. Huh.
兄貴のこと言ってんじゃねえよ。
おい。
全だ。
何？
そう言われてもな、モテちゃうからな、ちえ姉ちゃんは。
And from what I'd seen, that confidence was well justified. Yeah.
とっとと町へ戻っちまえ、バカ女。バカバカバカ。
どうしよう春明さん、バカは否定できないかも。
なんとちえみちゃんはバカだったのか。よーし、バカバカ。
ひどい。
言ってやろうぜ、義継くん。バカバカ。
なんなんだよてめえ。チーネバカにしてんじゃねえよ。
Dude. Damn it. You're pretty conflicted, aren't you?
ごめんちえみちゃん、本心じゃないんだ。
おお、見事な連続手のひら返し。このちえみをあっけに取られさせるとはなかなかやるな。あれは
ちえみちゃんには負けないぜ。
I keep skipping the voice. Sorry, guys.
やってんのかてめえら。
Well, you could say that. Boy, did I wish. Please.
いい加減になさい義継。当に遅刻でしょ。着替えて学校。
うるせえ。行かねえよ。
Mumbling something, the kid walked out of the dining hall, leaving his half-full bowl behind. Yo, you can't just leave your food like that.
ごめんなさいね。お恥ずかしいところを。
根は素直ないい子なんですけどね。
Yeah, I can actually see that somewhat. Yeah.
あ、ところで牧島さんとムロさんは？
あ、もうバイク拾いに出ましたよ。
まずい、追いかけないと。
うん、場所は分かってるみたいだったし大丈夫じゃない？
いや、一応ニュートラルにすれば押せるけどさ、操作わかるのかな。あとさすがに手伝うべきでしょ。作業が非効率になっちゃまずいし。
その程度なら手出しはやめときましょう。
なんで？
取りも直さず春明さんがよそ者だからです。長時間一緒に歩くのはちょっとおすすめできない。
問題になりそうな人たちには思えなかったけど。
そりゃ二人とも大人だから。でも基本的にこのちえみほどオープンな人はここにはそうそういないからね。
That is true.
春明さんは平気かもだけど、一緒にいると向こうがストレス溜めるかもしれない。 ただでさえ今普通じゃないから。
まあそうね。任せろと言われたら手出しをしない方がいいでしょうね。
Okay.
そうなんですか。
ええ。安水には安水のやり方がある。
I see.
男の人たちはそれにこだわるから。
I could somewhat understand that. A visitor should behave like one, doing anything more would be uncalled for. It was an old-fashioned way of thinking, but this was an old-fashioned kind of place, for sure.
じゃあ、どこで待とうか。
うちに戻って待ちましょう。
Okay. I expected as much, but it still made me curious. Normally, you'd expect we'd sit around and drink some tea right here, so why didn't we? I feel like something's off about the stuff here. As we waited, Chiemi, casually but uncomfortably, told me several things. I first found out that the people here in Yasumizu were a bit on edge right now. The reason for that was the fact that, excluding me, they had 3 whole outsiders here. I'd assumed this myself from what I knew so far, but apparently yesterday morning, a little girl was found straying around the Saranaga Rapids. They couldn't even find out her name, let alone who her parents were, so they didn't know how to handle her. For now, one of the inhabitants was looking after her. Like I'd been told, the more superstitious inhabitants, Tai-san mostly, saw her as a bad omen. I suggested leaving her to the police, but Chimi didn't seem to think it was a good idea. It barely made sense to me, but if I were to believe her, the things around here were such that not even the cops could do anything. And apparently, the remaining 2 outsiders were a pair of journalists gathering info for a magazine article. Unlike the little girl and I, they'd come here via the normal route through Kami Fujiyoshi, and there weren't considered a bad omen or whatever. Still, even normal outsiders put the people here on edge. Through this talk, I also got some details about the area itself. So Yasumizu is a settlement part of an autonomous region called Fujiyoshi Village, or simply Fujiyoshi. It had also been on the map I'd been shown at the store. This is the map at the store? Fujiyoshi was split into 2 areas, Yasumizu and Kami Fujiyoshi. They were separated by a mountain. Also, there are 2 towns, Kami Fujiyoshi, and then you go down the road and then you go down to Yasumizu. And then this is the river, so we came from the other side. Going to Kami Fujiyoshi took about an hour by foot or 20 minutes by car on the winding but paved road. Side note, the school students went to was in Kami Fujiyoshi. They walked for 1 hour? Holy crap. These 2 settlements had ties so strong they shared customs and culture. Chiemi said that the local season events were quite unconventional. I asked her to elaborate, but all she said was that Yasumizu had special meaning to Fujiyoshi. She was making me more suspicious than I wanted to be. This conversation wasn't nearly as exciting as the one we had last night. Well, at least I found out she didn't have a boyfriend right now. Very intriguing. I see where your priorities lie, Mr. Haruaki. Mr. Haruaki. It was nearly noon when Takumi-san came back, ending my waiting game. That was pretty quick. Side note, the door was fully open the entire time we waited. It was probably Chimi's way of saying that nothing bad was happening here. That's true. Damn, this guy's a boss. Look at his bicep, dude. Damn. Damn, this dude's jacked too. This old man. I really didn't expect him to just carry it here. Like, sure, there were 2 of them, but just how much mass did you have to haul a 200-kilogram piece of metal so easily? The unpaved road and the river made my sweet ride really damn muddy. I see.
おい、匠。と、余計なこと言ってる場合じゃねえ。これ大丈夫なのか？ だいぶ水に浸かっちまったみてえだけど。
どうかな。見てみます。
じゃああとは任すぜ。おやっさん、結構かかっちまったから研ぎ直しは明日まで待ってもらえっか。
I saw them off with a loud thank you. Now then.
手伝おっか？
とりあえず一人でなんとかなるかやってみるよ。
Yeah. The worst part of the repairs is right at the beginning. I wanted to start by washing it, but that old lady, Yamawaki was her full name, got really mad at me. She didn't want any Saranaga mud on the ground here because it was corrupt or something. Whatever. But this plaza was the only place with easy access to a water supply tap, so I did my best to convince her to let me wash it as close to the edge as possible. Once it was clean, I could start checking what was wrong with it. It actually looked pretty good, bent in places, sure, but the wash got rid of the bad sound the wheels made. The only problem was that both tires were flat. And it was a pretty big one.
道具とか持ってきてないの？
Changing flat tires is such a pain. Like, I tried changing a flat tire yesterday and it took me 3 hours.
普通バイク旅行とかって持ってくるもんじゃないの？
That is true. Why don't I have any tools?
いざとなればロードサービス呼べばいいかな。的なノリだったんで。
That's a little, unresponsible of you.
不準備。
Yeah.
いや、返す言葉もない。正直やけくそで出発したから冷静でもなかったのかも。
Yeah, that's fair.
お？事情を聞いてほしそう。
彼女に振られたんだよ。
Mister, dude. Okay, you're telling me you left because your girlfriend left you, and now you're looking at other women. Oh my
なんか
goodness.
嘘っぽいな。
Okay, yeah, that's a lie. I wasn't. Damn.
それはともかく、タンク修理道具か。野里屋敷ならあるかもしれないな。
野里屋敷？
安水で一番大きなお家。野里屋敷にないものは安水にはないよ。
なるほど。じゃあそこの人にお願いしに行こう。
実はあんまり会うのはおすすめできないんだけど、背に腹は変えられないか。
Might be some really aggressive dude.
また偉い人が登場？
その上ちょっと人格的にね。
Oh god, that's not good. What the hell? Why is there a huge ass mount? Oh. Okay, you know what? It's getting late, guys. Well, this is just the first chapter, and we're not even done with it. But we'll continue with the second part, I guess. Next week. For now, I will be saving, and I'll see you guys next time. All right. Bye.